AEW Games has officially created its social media platforms. We have the Twitter, we have the Facebook, we have the Instagram, we have the YouTube channel, and the major announcement coming on Tuesday, November 10th. That means, what are we going to get? Probably an AEW video game announcement. Yeah, see, I put 2 and 2 together. I'm kind of a smart person. That's why I am here, and you guys are watching this type of video. What we thought that we could do today is we could take a look at 10 most wanted features in the AEW video game. We're talking about the mainline video game, not the mobile game, not anything else that they're working on with AEW games, whether it's gaming peripherals, whether it's gaming videos on YouTube. We're talking about that mainline game to compete with the WWE games, the console game, the Steam game, Switch, Stadia, I don't know, but that's the game we're going to be talking about. We're going to be looking at the top 10 most wanted features in the game. If you guys do enjoy this, make sure you smash that like button. Let's see if we can get over 100 likes. I don't know. That's a nice little thing to hit for. And let me know, what is your most wanted feature in the AEW video game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Feel free to play along if you guys want. We're on GameRant.com, the top 10 most wanted features. I like to look at what other people think for the top 10 most wanted features in a video game, because honestly, we could come up with a list. We could come up with some really good features that should be in the video game, but I actually want to see what other people think, what a community thinks, what a group of everybody thinks. So AEW video game, the top 10 features that we want, and that's a pretty sick thing. Should I use that for my thumbnail? I just might have to. Anyway, let's go ahead and look. All Elite Wrestling is probably the best wrestling alternative to WWE. Build unique characters. Some of the pay-per-views has spread through the coming year. Blah, blah, blah. It's one question remain. What is going to be the video game, and what should they focus on? Number 10, individual character motion. One thing, that's a really bad Darby Allin, by the way. One thing that a lot of characters have to address is animations when you're talking about the video games. The uniqueness of the character drives pro wrestling. Every wrestler who is out there moves and fights differently, so it becomes essential to utilize this information. Make every character complete. The walking, the running, the standing stance. Every character should feel similar to the real-life counterpart. On top of that, the turnbuckle climbing animations, taunts, overall resting gesture should be taken into consideration as well. Additionally, the AEW game can have no wrestler ratings. Additionally, the AEW can have no wrestler ratings. Doing this will make sure every character feels like they can beat anyone. Kind of like Street Fighter. Okay. I wasn't sure where that one was going, but that is something that I talked about when I always talk about WCW NWO Revenge, and I talk about that being one of my favorite pro wrestling video games of all time. And it was just the uniqueness of every character. Playing as Goldberg felt like Goldberg. Playing as Kevin Nash felt like Kevin Nash. Rey Mysterio felt like Rey Mysterio. Raven felt like Raven. Disco Inferno felt like, well, Disco Inferno. And then you got those character motions. I agree with this. Chalk that one up as a win for you on the character motion column there. Number 9, create a story / cutscene. This is a big one that everybody wants in the 2K stuff, but if there's one thing that can directly impact the longevity of a video game, it's the replayability and creative options. A create a story mode in AEW video game will allow players to make their fantasy booking real. This will be great ways for some fantastic machinima work. Wow, I haven't heard that word in a while. From fans, a YouTuber and other video platforms are booming with creative content. Giving players the option to go berserk with their imagination will result in the favor of AEW. The most streamlined feature, the better will be the content. So there it is. Streamline that. Create a story / create a cutscene / create a, what do they call it? I guess it's called create a story. Character story creator. Create a story. That's the one that we want in the game. I agree with that. I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. Let the creativity shine. Give us some cutscenes. Let us play with it. There's not a create a story thing in any major pro wrestling game right now, so give us that. That'd be pretty cool. Number 8, new gameplay mechanics and controls. A lot of video games like Mortal Kombat and GTA have perfected their controls. The player movement in these games is simplified, quick, and easy to understand. Sadly, wrestling games are still figuring out the best controls. 2K20 has implemented some changes in controls, and fans are not completely satisfied. A lot of players want the old controls back. The best way to fix it is to engineer a new control and gameplay mechanic that provides full freedom to the player. Yeah, I get it. I understand. It's not easy to pick up and play. I think the best option is literally the AKI game control scheme. Press A for a quick punch, hold A for a quick or a strong punch, and then same goes for the grapples and stuff like that, or X and triangle, whatever, X, A, B, Y, Xbox control. You get what I'm saying. Just make the controls simplified where you hold A and then up and another thing does another move, and it's not hard. I mean, they worked fine. The SmackDown game, like Here Comes the Pain and stuff, was fine as well. So, I mean, they've had the controls worked out in wrestling games before, but I always feel like that they're trying to reinvent the wheel, and I don't know why that's a thing that they need to do. Just give us something simple, and we'll be able to make it work. I agree with that. Number 7, branched out story mode. I love this. Back from the AKI games, you got the branching story mode. You can take different paths. That's pretty awesome, and I do agree with that. Basically, if you win a match, you go one way. If you lose a match, you go another way. You keep going all the way to the end. Of course, there are some matches that you have to win in the story mode, but I like the idea of having a branching path. I think it would be very cool in an AEW game where you start out and you get to take like 3 different paths. Do you want to be a tag wrestler? Do you want to go for the AEW TNT championship, or do you want to go for the world championship? And based off of how your career plays out, that's where it will put you. And I think that could be a very fun story mode where it's like, okay, now I have a chance. Do I want to team up with Hangman Page? I don't think so. Ooh, I see this opportunity with Cody. Ooh, I'm rising in the rankings. I can go for the AEW world title. There's just so many options there, and I think the branching path would be great. You lose so much. The Dark Order looks pretty good right now. Could get in my winning ways. I think there's a lot of cool things that they could do, and a branched out story mode would be really, really cool. Number 6, crowd interactions. In recent months, everybody has realized and understood that crowd is the biggest heart of pro wrestling. Disappointingly, the crowd has never been treated like a real character in wrestling. If AEW needs to create a game that plays differently than WWE 2K series, is one thing they can prove as the catalyst. Crowd energy interactions during a match completely change the feel of the game. Just imagine performing a heel move and hearing a barrage of boos coupled with the audience throwing the junk on the players. I don't know the last time they've thrown junk on players, but I do agree that we need more crowd interaction where the crowd actually feels like they care about the match, not just those animations of people standing up and sitting down and whatever. They need to feel more real, and it needs to be something that is true to each different wrestler. Like Jericho, people should sing the theme song, stuff like that. I mean, they've done a little bit in the 2K game, but just same animations in the crowd, and I don't know if AEW can actually capture that, but it'd be kind of cool to see. Number 5, semi-arcade gameplay. Ooh, controversial here, controversial. Here is the loudest complaint by fans in the 2K series. It's too real. It tries to mimic the programming to the point that it forgets to leverage its uniqueness as a game. Gaming is a very different medium itself. It has a lot of restrictions, but the list of possibilities is even more specific or significant. AEW should leverage this and focus on providing the most fun gameplay, even if that ditches realistic slow simulation. Go for arcadey style Here Comes the Pain. I think Here Comes the Pain is a nice mix of fast-paced realism with still having arcade elements in it. No Mercy also has a pretty good mix of stuff. The AKI engine as well, but Here Comes the Pain, I would say probably would fit the best for today's modern video game, which is just the pace of the matches, where you can do a bunch of crazy stuff, but if you want to have like a super simulation type match, you can still do that as well. Here Comes the Pain gives you the tools to let you have fun with the game, and I think that's like the best engine that they had, like just giving us the options to play it how we want. If we want to do simulation, we can. If we want to go super crazy, we can. The problem with the modern games is they like to add in the selling mechanic, and then you're just down on the mat selling forever. And there's sometimes in tag matches when you roll out of the ring and you're just forced to lay on the ground, and that's not something we want. We don't want that. We just want to have fun and play the game. And I think Here Comes the Pain was just like fast enough, but also just fun. It's a hard balance, but you got to get that fun factor in there. If it's not fun to play, then it's just not worth doing. Next on the list is Versatile Community Creation Suite. I added Community Creation to mine, but Creation Suite would expand the life of the game. AEW might be not a yearly release like 2K, so packaging with the most versatile creation suite could be good. The ability to create superstars that are larger than life would help the game last years to come. Yeah, basically what we want is a cool community creation thing, because we want to be able to create WWE superstars, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact, any company out there that isn't AEW. You want to make those and put those in the game. So having community creations and being able to share those creations online would be even better. So put the creation, like a deep creation suite in there, and then also include a way to upload them and download them and stuff. Because if you look at Fire Pro Wrestling, there's a million things that you can download on there, and that makes the game so much fun to play. Number 3, the ability to control entrance. I don't know if I'd put that top of my list, but that's kind of cool, I guess. One thing the mainstream wrestling games still haven't explored is the entrance control. There are a few excellent independent games that allow you to move and taunt during the entrances, like actual wrestlers would. The AEW game would incorporate this feature. This would build a standard for such interactivity. Entrances would no longer be cutscenes, but a fully interactive part of the match, encouraging player to be more strategic during every second of gameplay time. This could be another key feature that defines the AEW video game. I think that would be kind of cool to control the entrance. I think what would make it even better is if there was certain checkpoints, and if you do them, it would give you a boost starting out the match. I don't know if this would work every time, but I think it'd be kind of a cool concept. Let's say you got to go to the corner and taunt. If you don't push the right taunt button, you won't get more ability. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm saying, but I think it'd be kind of cool to control the entrance. Yeah, I do. I don't think it's top 10 most wanted features of the game, but I think it's a cool concept. I do. Number 2, completely uncensored experience. If there's one thing striking between the AEW and WWE programming, it is censorship. In the past few months of its existence, All Elite Wrestling has created promos and matches that are edgy and emotional. Boundaries have been crossed, but for good storytelling, the AEW video game should be the epitome of this quality. By understanding and utilizing the freedom of the virtual game, AEW can opt for maximum bruise, blood, and gore feature. Moreover, this can be defiant taunt match type like unsanctioned matches. I think that's kind of cool concept. They might have to go the TVMA or the MA rating, like what GTA is, but I would say that would hurt their sales. But if you've seen GTA sales, they're doing all right. I think a more mature pro wrestling game would be something that I would really like. Not the fact that you have to go in and turn blood on to use it. I think if it comes standard in the game, you don't expect it, it happens, there's crazy stuff, it's edgy, that'd be kind of cool. And the last and final feature on this list is role-playing and open world elements. The most significant point of the AEW video game should be how it plays. There are plenty of wrestling games in the market, which is why AEW needs to strike the difference in its approach. Give players options that have not been seen before. Make the game an open world experience, or give players multi-paths to pursue. Another great addition could be RPG elements in the game, which means things like your outfit will directly impact the motion of your character and its fighting ability. If it's too heavy, All Elite Wrestling should strive to bring unique experience to the table. I like the open world thing. I think they had it in one of the SmackDown games. You walk around backstage, you do a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't too deep. I know the SVR game, you could walk around backstage. I thought that was kind of cool. You talk to the GM, you could talk to people, you could do stuff like that. I think an open world experience would be cool. It would actually be really neat if there was no menu. I don't know how this would work. You just, when you start the game, you pick your favorite wrestler. I don't know. And then the menu would be open world and you go here to have a match. I don't know. Maybe that's not the way to go. Now that I think about it, that kind of sucks. What am I saying? I don't even know what I'm saying. Open world would be cool. I don't know if you do the branching path thing and an open world. I don't know. They could do that. Open world elements, role playing, cool. I'm not sold on this idea. I can't tell you if I like it or not. I kind of do, and then I think about it, and then I don't. I don't know. That's why I'm going to leave it to you guys. Do you like it? Do you like open world? Do you not? Not sure. Well, there you have it. There was the list of the top most wanted features in the AEW video game. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I still can't decide if I like the open world thing or not, but I am intrigued. I do want to see a true alternative to WWE if they take some of these steps. I think the biggest one on my list would be the community creations and the community suite, making us being able to create superstars and update current superstars and stuff like that. That would make for the longevity of the game. Just being able to create people makes people want to play the game longer. And if they can be like the same realistic version as the players in the game, I think that would be pretty cool. So here, guys, that's where I'm going to leave you today. If you guys do enjoy this, smash that like button. As always, I'm TonyPizzaGuy. We'll see you in another video.